Hey everyone, it's your girl, it's JLoan. And guess what day it is? That's right, it's Mortgage Tip Tuesday, and it's my favorite day of the week because I get to bring you some helpful mortgage tips to help you, your family, your friends, your business referrals, when they're going through a mortgage or when they're about to go to a mortgage, some of the things that you should know, you shouldn't know, what you should do. And so today, I have a topic of when should you alert your loan officer. Over the past couple of months, there's been instances where things will happen, and I feel it's because you can't hide anything from us, and we're going to find it. We're going to get alerts. Things are going to pop up, and it could cause stress in your mortgage process, and you definitely don't want to go through that when you're getting ready to buy a mortgage. So I just put a couple. There's tons more things on here, but I did put a couple that have happened over the past couple months, and then I'm just going to break them down one by one. Okay, so number one, if you think about changing jobs or you actually lose your job, this is a number one reason why you should talk to your loan officer. Because sometimes, although a change for you may seem like, man, I'm going to be making tons of money, if your job changes the way that you are going to get paid, this could affect your current loan and your current approval. For instance, if you go from making W-2 pay of $100,000 a year, and now your company says, with this new incentive plan, you're going to now make $65,000 a year, but with your commission, your bonus, you are going to make over $175,000 a year. They just changed the structure of how you're paid, and unfortunately, commission, bonus, and overtime cannot be used unless you have been receiving it for 2 years. So it doesn't matter that you've been employed with this employer for 10 years. If you just started receiving commission, bonus, or overtime, we can't use it. So now your income for your loan goes from $100,000 to now $65,000. So you definitely don't want to be in that situation. Of course, if you lose your job, it's important to let us know, because if we've approved your loan, then that's an issue. But if you get another job right away and you have an offer letter, once again, just reasons to keep us posted, okay? Number two, if you're going to change how your closing costs and your down payment will be paid. This is very important because when we run your loan through automated underwriting, it is looking at, is this in the bank? Is this in a 401k? Is this a gift? Where is this money coming from? And it gives you an approval specific to how we ran it through the system. And if we change that, it could change your layers of risk, which could then change your approval to a not approval or a denial, or we'll have to work around. I hate the word deny, but it may cause issues. So you always want, even if you think, oh, this is easy, I'm going to change it, or I'm going to get it from here, or I'm going to take that money from underneath my mattress. That sounds good, but that's not good when it comes to the mortgage process. Okay, so if you change that or are thinking about changing it, you need to consult with your loan officer. Number three, if you use the money that we have already sourced. So when you go through a pre-approval process, I am collecting 2 months of bank statements for all the accounts that you provide. And if you decide that, hey, now I need to spend $1,000 of this asset, and now we need updated bank statements, which we normally will, because from pre-approval to the time you find a property, a new statement may come out, and we're always required to have 2 months of the most recent, and in some cases 1 month, but it must be the most recent statement. Well, if now that changed, then you could put yourself in a situation where now you don't have enough money on paper to purchase the property. So you definitely don't want to do that, okay? Number four, if someone else will be on or is on title. I had a recent situation where we were doing a refinance. Everything was easy peasy. And then title came to us towards the end and said, hey, there's another person on title. Well, this causes an issue because now it's like, okay, well, who is this person, first of all? But second of all, we found out that our borrower was a power of attorney over the person that was on title. Well, that caused a whole nother issue too, because now we have to generate a new power of attorney specific to the transaction. So even though you may think, well, I already have power of attorney, that's not the way it works in the mortgage world. It's very specific to the transaction and the property, and therefore we had to create it. It caused a little confusion at the end. And of course, the borrowers get frustrated because this seems easy, but it's not easy. Everything on the mortgage side is not easy. It's not easy. I promise you, it's not easy. It's very specific, and it can cause stress, which we don't want in our transactions. Number 5, if you want to move up your closing date, this isn't something that you just tell your spouse or you tell your realtor or you tell the title company. The lender has to be made aware. When we get a contract, that contract has a date on it, and that's the date that we work off in our system. Now, there are times that we are ready to go and we can change that date, but until we are told or asked to change the date, that date remains the same in the system, as that's the date we go off. So if you want to change that date, you gotta call your loan officer, okay? Don't change it on your own. Let us know so that we can make sure everyone's in line to make sure your closing is as smooth as possible. Number 6, if you're getting a gift. This sounds easy, right? Yeah, my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, they love me so much, they're gonna gift us money so that we can purchase this home. Well, that's great. Good for you, and I'm so happy that people are still getting gifts. But the problem with that is there's tons of documentation that comes with gifting. 1 is a gift letter. 2, that gifter has to provide a statement showing they had the ability to gift. And believe it or not, sometimes that's the hardest thing to get from a gifter, because they say, I'm not a part of the loan and I don't want to give you my information. So you need to make sure that they're aware that they have to provide to us this information. Then not only do they have to give us that bank statement, now they have to show us proof that they have gifted it to you or wired it to title. And I had a recent situation where it came out of a 401k. Well, now there's even more documentation we need, because it's the 401k and then the withdrawal from the 401k into the bank statement. So needless to say, there are steps that must be taken, and nothing on the mortgage side you can just think that this is all I need. If you want to know the proper steps and how to set yourself up for a smoother transaction, you want to make sure your loan officer knows everything so that we can help you plan and give you all the steps on how you can do this smoothly without pulling your hair out, okay? Then you have number 7, if you open any new debt or your balance drastically changes. So whether you know this or not, once you put in a loan application with a lender, I call it, we stalk you, we follow you. And so we are made aware of any inquiry. We are made of any drastic balance change. We are aware if a collection gets posted or any new debt. So what happens is sometimes you may go buy a car 2 months ago and we pull credit and they have not reported yet. And so if we are not told this, now you do fill out paperwork that says, hey, you pulled your credit, what happened? So typically I would know because I read that. But there are some lenders and some loan officers that don't read your credit explanation letter or your inquiries and may not find this out until you're already under contract. And if now you have a $500 car payment and now you don't qualify, you don't want to do that. So if you open anything new, just be open and honest with your loan officer. Say, hey, did you see I just opened up an auto and I have an $800 payment, or I traded out this car for this car. Just be open and honest and let them know, okay? And then number 8, this one is my pet peeve. Don't ask your family, your friends, and sometimes even your realtor about mortgage guidelines, or your mom and dad who purchased a home 20 years ago. Guidelines change all the time in our business. And yes, when I got in the business in 2006, all I needed to pull was your credit. I didn't even need pay stubs. If you had great credit, I didn't need to prove anything. I can get you a loan. But today, fast forward 15 years later, it's totally different. It's like drawing blood sometimes to get clients approved. And so if you want to know mortgage guidelines, if you want to know if there's a workaround, if you want to know information about the mortgage business, then you should ask a loan officer, because we're the ones who at least study these guidelines. We have to take tests on these guidelines. We have to do continuing education on these guidelines. And so if it's a guideline question or a loan question, you should always be able to reach out to your loan officer. And if you don't feel that you can trust your loan officer, then unfortunately you don't have the right one. You need to choose someone who's like a friend or a family, like me. So this is just a list of 8. Okay, there are many more things that you should always speak to your loan officer about. But what I'd like to say is always keep open communication. If you're very open to your loan officer, then I can give you the best advice. I can give you the best plan. I can give you everything you need so that your mortgage transaction is very successful. So it's your girl, #JLoan. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a fantastic week. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I am in my new office and I'm so excited. I did move recently and I'm so excited. So if I can help you with anything, of course, call me 817-601-5456. And have a blessed rest of your week. Stay safe. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye bye.